Staring up at him, I felt old age would never touch him. He was too strong, too vigorous for age to gray his hair and put wrinkles on his face and sag his jowls. Are old ladies unwanted too? I asked. Not your mother's kind, he said with a bitter smile. Somebody would always want your mother. And if no man wants her, she'd turn to you. So be there when or if she needs you. Be there when I need you to. I shivered, not enjoying this kind of serious grown-up talk when I had just met the first boy I could like. We neared the edge of the woods now, where the trees began to spread out and the lawn began. Papa was still talking. Sweet, there's an old lady at the house whom you've never met. Your mother and I both want a boy so much that we can't wait for the birth to find out what sex we're going to have. And I've been told this lady, Mrs. Alismore, has a talent for predicting the sex of an unborn child. As we neared the house, I paused to stare up at our grand old house, and I saw the stale, time-worn wedding cake, the cupola where the bride and groom would have been, but weren't. I saw the tall, narrow windows as sinister, slotted eyes looking out. When I was inside, I saw the windows as looking inward, keeping an eye on everyone, especially me. Papa tugged me on. A strange little black car was parked along the long curving drive that needed repaving. Weeds shot up all over in all the many cracks that I was careful to step over, not wanting to break my mother's back. I tried to pull my hand free from Papa's so I wouldn't have to be there to watch something that might be scary. But Papa pulled me into the front door, giving me no opportunity to run to my hideaway in the cupola. Once the doors were closed behind us, I was released. I avoided putting my feet on any rainbow design the sun made through the stained glass windows in the doors. The best of the front salons, my mother, Aunt Elizabeth, Vera, and the old woman were gathered together. Mama was laying on the velvet chaise. The old woman leaned above her. The moment she saw us come in, she took the wedding band from Mother's finger, tied it to a piece of string over my mother's middle. If the ring swings vertically, it will be a boy, she muttered. If it swings in a circle, it will be a girl. At first, the ring moved erratically, terribly undecided. Then it paused and changed course, and Papa began to smile. Soon his smile vanished, and as the ring began to make a circle, Papa leaned forward and began to breathe heavily. Aunt Elizabeth sat very tall and straight. Her dark eyes drifted the same intense expectancy as Papa's eyes. Vera drifted closer, her ebony eyes wide. Mama lifted her head and craned her neck to see what was going on and why nothing was being decided. I swallowed over a lump that closed my throat. What's wrong? Mama asked in a worried way. You have to stay calm, croaked Mrs. Alismore, the witch-like face screwed into a tiny wrinkled fern. Her mini mouth pursed into crudely switched buttonhole. Hours seemed to pass instead of seconds as that ring on the string kept changing direction, settling on nothing. Has your doctor messaged twins? Asked the old crone in a perplexed frown. No, he said the last time I went, he heard only one heartbeat. Papa reached to take her hand in his and then raised it to his cheek, rubbing against his faint stubble. I could hear the slight raspy sound. Then he leaned to kiss Mama's cheek. Lucky, don't look so concerned. This is all tomfoolery anyway. God will send us the right child. We don't have to worry. Yet Mama insisted Mrs. Alice would try for a while longer. 5 excruciating minutes passed before the old woman grimly untied the string from the ring and handed Mama her wedding band. Ma'am, I hate to say this, but your caring is not male or female. Mama let out a small, terrified cry. Never before have I heard Papa fly into such a rage. Get out of here, he yelled. Look at my wife, you scared her half to death. He shoved the old woman toward the door, and to my utter amazement, he shoved a $20 bill into her hand. Why was he paying her so much money? It's $50, sir. It's 20 for nothing. 20 or nothing for a report like that, barked Papa, shoving her outside and locking the door behind her. When I entered the salon again, Vera had moved into the shadows to stare at Papa with hard eyes. She had a huge chunk of chocolate cake in her hands, left for me to eat for dinner last night. She'd eaten twice as much last night. Catching my glare, she grinned and licked the chocolate from her fingers. All gone down, sweet Audrina. None left for you because you had to steal away. Where'd you go, sweet Audrina? Shut up, ordered Papa, falling to his knees beside the couch where Mama lay crying. He tried to console her by saying what a crackpot idea it was in the first place. Mama threw her arms about him, really bawled. Damien, what could she have meant? Everyone says her predictions come true every time. Well, not this time. Vera balled up into the wax paper that had held her cake and shoved it into her pocket. I believe Mrs. Alice Moore is 100% right. Another freak is about to come into the Whitefern house. I can smell it in the air. That she headed toward the foyer, but not quickly enough. In a bounding flash, Papa was on his feet and she was over his knee. He yanked her skirt up and began to spank her so hard I could see through her transparent white nylon panties how red her buttocks grew. She screamed and fought him, trying to wiggle free, but in no way could she match his strength. Stop it, Damien, screamed my mother and my mama simultaneously. That's enough, Damien, Mama finished, raising up one elbow and looking very weak. Ruthlessly, Papa shoved Vera off his lap, but she fell down on the floor. She began to crawl away, trying to tuck down her skirt over her underwear. How could you, Damien? Asked my aunt. Vera is a young woman, much too old to be spanked. I wouldn't blame her. She never forgives you. After that, we ate dinner. Everyone so angry that only Vera and my aunt managed to clean their plates. Later that night, I heard Mama sobbing in Papa's arms, still worried about her unborn baby. Damien, something is wrong with this baby. Sometimes it moves constantly, keeping me awake, and other times it doesn't move at all. Shh, he comforted softly. All babies are different. We're two healthy people. We have another healthy baby. That woman has no more divining power than I do. But what could have been a wonderful summer was spoiled because Vera insisted on following me everywhere. Time and again I tried to slip through the woods, yet Vera knowing, but she seemed to smell my thoughts like an Indian. She was on my trail. Though Arden's mother insisted that we call her Billy, this felt strange. When she kept insisting, finally I did. She was the only adult I'd ever met who was ready to share her adult knowledge with me in a way I could understand. I liked it best when I could steal over without Vera, who had a way of dominating all conversations every time we visited. We both went away wondering why Billy didn't invite us to her cottage. I wonder why Billy didn't invite us to her cottage. I was too polite to say anything. Vera was pretending to be mannerly, so she didn't mention it either. One day I heard Arden tell Billy that Vera was 12. I stared at him, feeling very strange. She knew more about Vera than I did. Did she tell you that? Gosh, no. Vera's got nutty ideas about telling her age. But she is listed on the school register, and that I happen to know that she's 12. He gave me a shy smile. Are you trying to tell me you don't know your own sister's correct age? Quickly I recovered. Of course I do. She says people have long memories. So she's going to pass around so many lies that no one will ever know years from now what age she was this summer. Despite Vera, I did have fun that summer. It seemed to me Billy gave me 3 times the warmth he gave Vera. And was shameful as it seemed, she seemed more concerned about my welfare than my own mother did. But Mama wasn't feeling well, so I could forgive her. Dark circles appeared beneath her eyes as she walked to her with her hands supporting her back. Vera was telling me all the time that it wasn't a boy or a girl. It was going to be a neutered baby of no sex, like a doll. Nothing between its legs, she thought. That happens sometimes. In fact, one of the bizarre things that nature can do. It's written about in medical books. Monthly terms that kept Vera in bed gave me the best times to run to Arden and Billy. Arden and I ate picnic lunches under the trees and spread on a red and white checkered tablecloths. I never felt afraid of him. When he finally did touch me, it was to feel my hair. I didn't mind that. When's your birthday? He asked one day when I was sprawled on my back staring up through the trees above, trying to see the clouds to make them sailing ships. September the 9th, I said unhappily. I had an older sister who died exactly 9 years before I was born, and she had my very same name. Until I said this, Arden had been busy hammering out a dent of some tiny wheel he meant to use on something, and he stopped hammering and stared at me in a strange way. An older sister with the same name? Yes, but she was found dead in the woods under a golden ring tree, and because of that, I'm never supposed to come here. But you are here, he said in a strange voice. How dare you to come? I smiled. I dare anything to visit Billy. To visit my mom? Why? That's very sweet, but what about me? Oh, then that's when I could turn on my side and he couldn't see my face. Oh, I guess I could put up with you. I turned to peek at him, and he was sitting there cross-legged in his white shorts, chest bare and glistening in the sunlight hit it. Well, he stopped picking up the hammer and beginning to beat that little wheel again. I guess that tells me you got a lot of growing up to do, or else it tells me you got a lot like your sister after all. She's not my sister, Arden, but my cousin. My parents only pretend she's theirs to save my aunt from the shame. My aunt went away and came back almost 2 years later. Vera was only a year old. My aunt was so sure the father of Vera would take one look at this baby and fall in love with her. But it didn't happen that way. While my aunt was gone, he married someone else. I didn't say one word. He just smiled to let me know he didn't care who Vera was. Arden loved his mother more than I thought boys ever could. When she called him, he'd jump up to fly into the house. He'd hang up her wash and take it down. He'd carry out the garbage cans. He'd stop in the woods to work for hours to dig up a piece of quartz that looked like a huge pink diamond. I'm going to have this made into a pendant for the girl I marry someday. I just don't know what form it ought to take. What do you think, Audrina? I felt envious of the girl that he'd one day marry. Even as I took the quartz and turned it over, it had many strange convulsions. But the center were colored so bright and clear it resembled a rose. Why not a rose? Just blossom full and open, not a bud. A rose blossom it will be then, he said, tucking the quartz in his pocket. Someday when I'm rich, I'm going to give the girl I love everything she's ever dreamed of wanting. And I'm going to do that for my mom, too. A shadow passed over his face. The only thing is, money can't buy what my mom wants most. What's that, if it's not too personalized? It's personal, very personal. He grew silent, but that was all right. We could go for hours without speaking and still manage to feel comfortable with each other. Audrina, Arden said suddenly, still fiddling with the spokes of his bike. What do you really think of me? I liked him more than I wanted to admit, but in no way did I want to tell him that. Why would a boy of 12 want to waste his time on a girl of 7? Surely Vera must appeal to him more. But I didn't want to ask either. You're my very first friend, Arden. I guess I'm very grateful you even bother with me at all. His eyes met mine briefly, and I saw something glistening in them like tears. Why would he cry because I said that? I'm going to have to tell you something one day, and you're not going to like me after I do. Don't ever tell me if that's what it will do, for I don't want to stop liking you, Arden.